Thank you for joining us. Today we have an update on the Bears Paw South feeder main and impacts to citywide water service. We'll be hearing from Director of Capital Priorities and Investment, Francois Bouchard. We'll hear his remarks, and then there will be an opportunity to ask questions after. And now I'll turn it over to Director Bouchard.
Thank you, Jamie, and good afternoon. I'm Francois Bouchard, Director of Capital Priorities and Investments at the City of Calgary. Here's today's update in our progress with construction and restoring water service. Concrete pouring is now complete at our final repair location. While we had anticipated starting to fill the feeder main today, we have determined that a little more time is needed for the concrete to cure before we can take this step. We now expect to start refilling the feeder main beginning tomorrow morning. This should not impact our overall timeline to lift water restrictions this upcoming weekend. Filling the pipe is the first step in our path to bring the feeder main back into service, and it will take about 3 days to complete. Once the feeder main has been filled, we will perform testing to make sure water quality meets or exceeds all safety and quality standards. When we have confirmed that the water is safe, we will move into stabilizing the system, including opening valves to reconnect the feeder main to the rest of the water distribution network. Once all of these steps are completed, we will lift water restrictions. Again, this is still expected to happen sometime this upcoming weekend. Yesterday's water use was up slightly to 489 million litres. This is in the yellow zone. I want to thank all businesses and residents who continue to do their part to save water, especially in the last 5 days. We're nearing the finish line, but I want to remind you that until the feeder main has been reconnected to the rest of the system, it remains very important that we continue to reduce our water use. Stage 4 water restrictions are still in effect, and we're continuing to ask that you take 3 simple steps indoors as well. Flush only when necessary, keep your showers to 3 minutes, and only run full loads of dishes and laundry. I would like to note that as we fill the feeder main, we expect our daily water demand to rise by about 7 million litres a day, as it will take 22 million litres in total to fill the pipe. This water will come from the Bears Paw Water Treatment Plant, and it is over and above what we are already providing to the rest of the water distribution system. We are now in the end stages of our construction. Yesterday morning, we were able to reopen 16th Avenue Northwest, with the exception of some temporary localized lane closures near 43rd Street. I would like to once again thank area businesses for their patience. We appreciate the last few weeks have not been easy. I encourage everyone to visit businesses in Bowness and Montgomery to show your support. Yesterday, remaining crews also moved to daytime-only shifts. I want to thank community members who have been impacted by the repairs. The round-the-clock construction has helped us progress as quickly as we have, but we hope that the quieter nights will bring some relief. And now for some updates on each of our sites. Starting with sites 1 through 4 at 33rd Avenue Northwest and Shoaldice Park, we are preparing asphalt paving at Site 1. Concrete curb and gutter work is now underway at Sites 2 and 3 and is anticipated to be completed later today. This means we expect to reopen 33rd Avenue Northwest east of 83rd Street by tomorrow. No parking signs along 34th Avenue east of 83rd Street have been removed. Repair work is complete with minor landscaping to follow in the coming weeks at Site 4 in Shoaldice Park. At Site 5, which is the 33rd Avenue Northwest at 86th Street, we are preparing for asphalt paving. We expect to reopen 33rd Avenue Northwest from 83rd Street to 87th Street later this week. We will continue to connect with those directly impacted by the construction to share our progress, and to discuss plans to reinstate sidewalks, driveways, and landscaping that have been impacted by the repair work. We have less than a week to keep up our water restriction efforts before we have normal water service again. For now, please continue to take steps to save water inside and avoid outdoor water use. We're almost there. Our next update will be tomorrow. Thank you. I will now hand it over to Jamie to field questions from the media.
Any questions?
I do have one, Francois, and it's because I know now we're coming to the end, the weekend will be the end, and then there was talk of further work as we go along. And so when will that further work start and begin?
So we're still planning the details of that work, and we will reach out to impacted residents and businesses as that planning progresses. And we'll take a similar approach to what we took for these 21 repairs.
Any other questions?
So you talked about the concrete curing work delaying or being delayed ever so slightly. Can you elaborate a little more on why that happened?
So concrete requires some curing before it reaches the required strength. And as it cures, it heats up a little bit. So right now, the concrete is at a certain temperature. And we want to make sure that once we start flowing water in the pipe, the water is typically quite cold. And therefore, what we don't want to do is introduce a temperature shock for the concrete, which could compromise its strength.
Any other questions? All right, we will see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the Water Center.
Nice job.
Thank
Thanks.
you.